The other cage match was equally good. I thought that this was like, this was Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong for the honour of Marina Shafir or whatever it was. I feel like this was Velveteen Dream finding his stride again.
Yes.
He's been quite sloppy since he returned. It's been a bit like whiffed punches, a bit like odd stuff. Everything was a bit wobbly. This really felt, but I think this was a match that, one, cleverly designed to kind of hide those flaws in the fact that he's still not the most technically proficient wrestler, but he is a very good seller and he is a very good risk taker. So a cage match where it's a lot of, I'm going to hit you with a kendo stick, we're going to do this stuff, I'm going to jump off, etc., etc., works really, really well. They did loads of amazing stuff in this. There's like top rope Olympic slam from like the middle of the cage.
Yeah.
There's like 2 Dream Valley drivers in quick succession.
Yeah, because Roddy just gets up from the first one, which I thought was really cool character work from him. It was like, I'm fighting for my wife. Yeah. I'm going to get up from this.
Roddy does a backbreaker with a kendo stick, like flipping
like
him
a
up,
pop handle
like he's a barbecue. Like,
boom!
Like, let's go kebabbed
quick.
him. Bam! Rotisserie.
Backbreaker.
Adam Cole manages to get inside, and Dream manages to fight both of them, like both him and Roddy off, leaving Cole down. Him and Roddy are at the door, tussling over who's going to get out first. Roddy's like pulling his way out. Dream is holding Roddy's leg, looks over his shoulder, and goes, whatever, lets him go. Roddy flops out onto the mat, winning the match, and Dream immediately locks the cage with him and Cole inside.
Yeah.
And then goes for Cole, leaving him leaving all the Undisputed Era laying. There was a weird bit of like farcical comedy where Roddy gets back in and is climbing down onto the turnbuckle and he chucks Adam Cole into him and Roddy crotches himself and then he's like laying there for ages. Then Dream's got the belt and he's climbing up the thing and he's like mugging into camera like, I'm being sensual with Goldie. Ciampa's going to have something to say about that. Get your hands off my daughter. I thought it was amazing. I really like. I would argue it's very good wrestling. I would argue that it's not an ingenious master plan to be like, I'm coming after your wife to get to that belt that other man has. But I like the swerve. I think the swerve is really interesting. I thought it added something to a regular cage match. You get so many where people are just like, this was more about this is about us settling something really personal and like. It kind of makes sense for Velveteen Dream to swerve from Roddy to Cole because do you know who orchestrates all the bullshit the Undisputed Era do? Adam Cole. Yeah. Adam Cole was the one who told Roddy to chuck him off the truck. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Roddy carries it out, but it is ultimately Adam Cole holding the big prize who is orchestrating all the violence.
Yeah, and what I really like as well is this felt like it wasn't just a master plan that Dream had thought of from the very start. He didn't come back wanting to get Cole via Roddy and his wife. It was more of like to me anyway, what I saw was it was more of an in-the-moment thing. He's like, Cole's in the cage with me. Okay. Yeah. And then he was like, I'm kind of done with Strong now. I've beaten him up quite a lot. So I'm okay. I'll just let you go. I want that title now. I've already beaten you up, and
I've given him the flogging of a lifetime.
Exactly. So So that's fine. I've given you Dream Valley drivers. I've hit you with a kendo stick a lot. I'm all right with that now. Off you go. See you later. Give me the title, please.
So, do you think it's Dream's time?
I don't know. It's really hard to say because I want to say yes because I think he's so over. And people love him so much. But I just don't know if him holding the NXT Championship is what's right for him. Because
I think if he holds it for one season, if he gets it at TakeOver, gets the big WrestleMania weekend pop, holds it until the next TakeOver and drops it, I would do that with him and then put the belt on a big heel coming through the ranks. That's what I would do. Because then they've got the option of they're probably aware that Adam Cole is on the list to go to Raw and SmackDown post Mania. Yeah. So they need to do something with that ASAP.
Yeah. And I mean, he's challenged for the NXT Championship before when Ciampa was the champion. I just said the syllable champ quite a lot in that sentence. But he challenged for it before, and it wasn't his time. It was a really good match, but I think they made the right choice with him not winning it then. I think now could be a good time for him.
Yeah.
I think he's developed quite a lot as a character. I still don't know if him as an in-ring wrestler is like quote unquote good enough to be NXT champion, because I always feel like the champ is always like one of the best wrestlers on the roster. He's got one of the best characters on the roster.
Yeah.
But as an actual wrestler, I don't know if he quite stacks up to, you know,
Adam Cole
and Ciampa and Gargano and people like that.
Yeah. But I think I think he would be perfectly placed to have that one, you know, couple of month reign, lose it at TakeOver to a Finn Balor or a heel Johnny Gargano, or even just a really pissed off Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
But just as an interim, like, because I do think the moment of Velveteen Dream winning the belt after all of this nonsense is really worth doing.
Yes.
And I think it's like, you know, we can have, in terms of surprises that there are going to be in terms of NXT's booking, like, who was going to be the next champion at NXT has never been a question. Well, I feel like the only time it's ever been swerved was when Gargano accidentally helped Ciampa win the belt from Black on a taping. That's the only time I've actually been like, oh, I just didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, and Andrade unseating Drew.
Andrade unseating Drew, and I just thought of another one as well. Joe winning it back off Shinsuke.
Yep.
To become a two-time champ. I didn't see that one coming either.
But then that was always that was on the cards, at least because Joe had been a champion.
Yes.
And Shinsuke is the champion. It's
but
it does feel like previously in NXT, the chosen one to be the next champion has always felt very obvious. It was always going to be Kevin Owens. It was always going to be Finn Balor. It was always going to be Joe. It was always going to be Shinsuke. It was always going to be Robert Roode. But it just sort of was at the time, you know. And I think like it's nice to feel like it not be so sure that Velveteen Dream's going to win this. Like Cole has done enough title defenses now that you thought were obvious. Like I thought Tommaso Ciampa was the obvious choice. I thought Gargano at some point was the obvious choice, but none of them were. So like here, this really does feel like we could be in for like a really big, I can't believe that's just happened moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens to be there's some mechanics behind it if Cole is going to the main roster. Whatever. Do this big moment. I think don't then hinge the whole brand on Dream. I think we should move the title on from him quickly, but you give him that really short little reign, and then you have some monster guy come through who's really dominant and steals the belt off him. Yeah. And to give Finn or Johnny genuine molten heat as well.
Yeah, I think it would be great. And because Dream is so young, he can stick around in NXT and become a two-time champion eventually. He can have this reign now and then go through a whole bunch of other stuff, kind of like Ciampa was doing. And I'm sure eventually Ciampa's going to win the title back. But I think if Dream has a short reign now, and then, you know, eventually a year, 2 years down the line when he wants to become a two-time champ again, he can be like, hey, I wasn't ready for the first time I had this title. Now I'm ready to get it and keep it. That's like a whole arc that you can have for Dream.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome. I think he should win at Tampa. I'm saying it now.
There we go.
Dream should win.
There we go. Dream should win.